The Shaanxi Y-9 is simply China's answer to the US C-130J Super Hercules. However, while another BRICS country has enjoyed greater market popularity, this Chinese aircraft has yet to achieve meaningful export success. As the weapon detective, we're now investigating the Y-9 and whether it can overcome this issue. The Y-9 is the new backbone of the medium military transport aircraft fleet for the People's Liberation Army Air Force, or PLAAF. Moreover, its subvariants serve various missions, from electronic warfare to maritime patrol and airborne early warning, within both the PLAAF and the People's Liberation Army Navy Air Force, or the PLA-NAF. Evolving from the Y-8, a reverse-engineered copy of the Soviet AN-12, the aircraft appears to have significant market potential on paper. Nevertheless, real-world results have diverged from these expectations. Before seeking answers as to why, let's briefly explore the history and features of the Y-9. In the 1960s, the USSR granted China licensing rights to produce the AN-12, whose NATO reporting name is Cub. The Sino-Soviet split, however, led Moscow to cancel the agreement soon after providing some technical assistance. By that time, China had already acquired several AN-12s and decided to copy the Cub. The new aircraft, named Y-8, made its maiden flight on December 25, 1974. It was mainly similar to the AN-12, but had a different glazed nose and a tail turret, both of which were derived from the H-6 bomber, the Chinese copy of the Tu-16. Once the Y-8 entered service in 1981, the PLAAF immediately requested improvements, including the ability to extract cargo by parachute. In 1986, to address performance needs, China received assistance from Lockheed to improve the aerodynamics of the Y-8. In 2001 and 2002, Shaanxi and Antonov worked together to redesign the Y-8's wing and fuselage. Moreover, the development of several subvariants under the Gaussian program for various missions, including electronic warfare, airborne early warning, and maritime patrol, further bolstered China's capabilities in this field. As a result, by the Y-8F 300-400 version, the aircraft featured a solid nose and became more similar to the Y-9. Even the Y-9's initial name was in fact the Y-8X. Building on its earlier experience, Shaanxi began to work on the Y-8F-600, which features a redesigned fuselage, Pratt & Whitney Canada-made turboprop engines, and a glass cockpit. Antonov provided technical support for this version, including the construction of a wind tunnel for testing large transports. The Y-8F-600 targeted civilian market, but later became the basis for many support aircraft. The Y-8X was its military version, designed to replace the aging, low-capacity previous Y-8 variants. China was cautious about the Y-8F-600's foreign engines, propellers, and avionics, as it was concerned that they could be restricted by US export bans if used in military aircraft. Consequently, the Y-8X would feature domestic counterparts of these subsystems. It was unveiled at the 2002 Zhuhai Air Show. By the 2005 Beijing Air Show, the Y-8X concept had evolved into the Y-9. China originally intended to carry out the maiden flight in 2007. However, during those years, Shaanxi was also developing new subvariants of the Y-8, as well as the next-generation large transport aircraft, the Y-20. As a result, working on an extra machine strained the company's capacity, and the PLAAF was not in a hurry to acquire the new medium military transport aircraft. Thus, due to these factors, China temporarily halted the program in 2007, which had already experienced delays. Although Shaanxi resumed development of the Y-9 a year later, the aircraft did not receive any orders from either domestic or foreign markets, leading to the work being paused once again in 2010. The Y-9 made its maiden flight on November 5, 2011. The first production aircraft entered service with the PLAAF in 2012. The Y-9 has a similar shape and size to the Y-8F-600, on which it is based. The most notable change is the addition of small vertical surfaces on the horizontal stabilizer tips, likely intended to enhance aircraft stability, or meet the structural requirements of Y-9 special mission variants, which require greater stability for their external equipment. Although its 20-ton standard maximum payload is the same as the Y-8, the Y-9 has an enlarged cargo bay measuring 16.2 meters in length, 3.2 meters in width, and 2.35 meters in height, offering a volume of 155 cubic meters. This modification allows it to carry a broader range of cargo. The cargo bay features cargo handling rollers and tie-down rings. It can transport and paradrop up to 2 ZBDO-3 airborne infantry fighting vehicles, or 9 standard 108x88 pallets, or 8 125x96 pallets. The Y-9 can also accommodate up to 132 passengers, or 106 paratroopers. It has a capacity for 72 stretchers, staffed by 3 medical personnel. For short-range missions, it can carry 25 to 30 tons. A new, better-designed loading ramp at the rear of the Y-9 enables faster loading and unloading of cargo compared to the ramp used on the Y-8. Some specialized variants, such as the Y-9G, lack a rear ramp. It can fly 2,200 kilometers with 15 tons or 1,000 kilometers with 20 tons. Its endurance is about 11 hours. The aircraft's WJ-60 is a domestically modernized copy of the Soviet AI-20 engine, while the composite JL-4 propeller has 6 blades. Compared to the Y-8, these improvements provide the Y-9 with increased engine power and more efficient propellers, resulting in enhanced high-altitude flight performance and reduced performance degradation in high-temperature environments. The glass cockpit has 6 multifunctional displays and an electronic flight instrument system. The Y-9's advanced weather radar, communications, navigation, ground proximity warning, and collision avoidance systems enable all-weather performance. It has a turret for optical and infrared sensors beneath the nose radome. The aircraft takes off from a distance of 1,350 meters and requires 1,300 meters to land. China and Namibia are current users of the Y-9. The 4-person crew of the Y-9 includes a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, and loadmaster. The aircraft measures 36.07 meters in length, 38 meters in wingspan, and 11.21 meters in height. Its wing area is 121.9 square meters. The empty weight of the Y-9 is 39 tons, while its maximum takeoff weight is 77 tons. The power plant comprises 4 5,100 horsepower Wojian WJ-60 turboprop engines. Its top speed is 660 km per hour with a cruise speed of 560 km per hour. The service ceiling is 10,100 meters, equivalent to 33,135 feet. The aircraft's fair range is 5,700 kilometers. The Y-9's export variant is the Y-9E. Although many sources refer to it as a Y-9 version, the Y-8Q GX6 is based on the Y-8 as its name indicates. However, this maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare aircraft, which is also known as the KQ-200, is only slightly different from the Y-9. The true maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare variant of the aircraft is the Y-9Q GX-15. Similarly, despite claims from many sources, the Y-8W GX-5, also known as the KJ-200, is derived from the Y-8. Additionally, the aircraft features the Y-9JZ GX-8 and Y-9X GX-12 electronic intelligence, the Y-9XZ GX-9 psychological warfare, the KJ-500 GX-10 and KJ-700 GX-16 airborne early warning and control, the Y-9G GX-11, Y-9LG, and Y-9DZ GX-17 electronic countermeasures and jamming, the Y-9T GX-13 communications relay, and the Y-9YL medical evacuation variants. So far, Y-9 sub-variants have garnered more attention than the cargo version. The anti-submarine warfare capabilities of the PLA-NAF, already improved by Y-8Qs, will further increase with Y-9Qs. The aircraft has played an essential role in China's airborne early warning capability. On June 22, 2010, a Y-9JZ GX-8 electronic intelligence aircraft repeatedly violated the Korean and Japanese air defense identification zones, prompting interceptors from both nations to scramble. Compared to the Y-20, the Y-9 does not represent a great leap forward for China's military airlift capacity. However, when we turn to export potential, a different perspective emerges. The aging C-130s and AN-12s, which remain the backbone of military airlift capabilities for many nations, must be replaced in the near future. The commercially semi-successful C-160 is already nearing its final breath. As a result, the demand for a new medium military transport aircraft to replace these aging platforms creates a significant market opportunity. Before continuing, it should be emphasized once again that the C-295 and C-27J, the C-2 and A400M, and the C-17, IL-76 and Y-20 are military transport aircraft in different classes, and there is no reason to compare them with the C-130J, C-390, or Y-9. A logical comparison can only be made between the last three. Since the Y-9 was developed from the Y-8 AN-12, it can utilize their maintenance infrastructure, reducing the need for new investments. This feature should make the aircraft a popular choice among the current COP operators. Additionally, these nations, along with some C-130 users, generally have problematic relations with the West or good relations with China. Consequently, acquiring a Super Hercules or Millennium is not easy for them, and such an acquisition could also lead to future issues, especially regarding spare parts supply. Conversely, China, which is already a more preferable supplier for them, equipped the Y-9 with locally developed subsystems, including WJ-60 engines. This move aims to prevent the previously mentioned supply problems from occurring in the first place. Chinese aviation products are generally more affordable than their Western counterparts. Yet, despite these advantages, we must consider an important question. Why have only Namibia purchased just two Y-9s so far, while the Brazilian C-390 has proven to be a real competitor for the C-130J in the international market? Pratt & Whitney Canada PW150B turboprop powered the previous Y-8F600. The domestication of this engine in the Y-9 has eliminated the possibility of export restrictions. However, China's turboprop technology level still lags behind of its Western rivals. Switching from the PW150B to the WJ-60 has led to an increase in the Y-9's fuel consumption. Although it carries 5 times more fuel, its range with maximum payload is only half that of the Y-8F600. The Chinese aircraft flies 2,200 kilometers with 15 tons of cargo, while the Super Hercules and Millennium reach 3,300 kilometers and 5,020 kilometers respectively. The Brazilian aircraft can carry a 26-ton load for 2,000 kilometers, over 11 tons more than the Y-9. One of the primary roles of a medium military transport aircraft is to perform tactical airlift operations, which particularly require a short takeoff and landing capability. The Y-9's takeoff run is almost 1.5 times longer than the C-130J. China itself appears dissatisfied with these performance shortcomings. It revealed the Y-30, regarded as the successor of the Y-9 at Zhuhai Air Show 2014. The new aircraft will carry 30 tons and feature more efficient and powerful WJ-10 engines. Our viewers know that we're not fans of making comparison videos, but this time we had to take a different approach to explain why the Y-9 has not been successful in the international market. We believe that as the final step in the evolution of AN-12, the new aircraft looks quite handsome. Yes, it is behind the C-130J and C-390 in some aspects, but calling the Y-9 a failure would be an exaggeration. It offers sufficient payload capacity, a relatively good range, and modern avionics, making its performance suitable for current needs. The aircraft is a preferable option for countries that cannot acquire the C-130J or C-390 due to political or economic reasons. Thanks for watching our video, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments, and shares.